everyone, welcome to the Silver Edition. I'm Mary Cons, and today I'm joined by Jake Anderson. Hi Jake, how are you?
Very good, thank you, Mary.
Good, okay, well, so will you just, to start us off, tell us about yourself, a little bit about your background. Are you a dog person, a cat person? What's the sitch?
Oh, well, I am the Park and Rec Director for the City of Monona. I've grown up in small towns all my life. Graduated from Monroe High School, and I got a degree in exercise and sports science and sports management from UW-La Crosse. I'm married and have two wonderful boys. No dog anymore, but we moved to Monona in 2016, and we just love living here and raising our kids here.
Yeah, for sure. So you're the Parks and Rec Director of the City of Monona. What do you do? What does that job entail?
We wear a lot of different hats. So we're responsible for the operation of all of our parks, the community center, the outdoor pool, and if you haven't been there, the Monona Bank River Rink, the ice rink, and below deck concession stand. My job entails kind of the budgeting, so the administrative aspect of that, working with our mayor and our elected officials on what kind of budgets we have, staffing levels, et cetera. And then I have a dedicated staff of 6 full-time people and over 100 limited to term employees, so our seasonals, and hundreds of volunteers that we help organize for special events and programs and fundraising and volunteer activities.
Nice, nice. So what kind of experience do you have that you think helps you with this position?
Yeah, customer service. So my first job, I was working at a country club, and I would be the person that would take the golf clubs off the carts and put them in members' areas, and really learning how to talk to people and deal with people and be professional. All of my previous experience was in customer service and conflict resolution and being able to be approachable. So our field in Parks and Rec is we're so forward-facing with the community and certainly dealing with sponsors and vendors and our parents and coaches and administrators from other organizations, that it's important to be able to be a people person and being able to listen, actively engage, and respond.
For sure, for sure. So what do you think some of the biggest challenges are as the director?
My job, knowing what fires to put out and when. Our days fluctuate greatly on what needs to get done. I think, in local government, we're always dealing with a lack of appropriate funds and staffing, and so we have a high level of expectation of what we want to be able to provide for our community, and sometimes we just don't have enough hours in a day or enough people. So the job itself, I always say, is pretty straightforward. It's the people. So we're dealing with lots of staff, and everyone comes to work with sometimes they're having great days, sometimes they're having not so great days, and it's how to keep our staff engaged and our volunteers. But I am so fortunate. I have an amazing staff who work really, really hard to be leaders in what they do.
Yeah, for sure. So can you walk me through what a typical day looks like for you? You wake up, you have breakfast, then what do you do?
So my days, generally, I try to get to the office by 7 a.m.
Oh my gosh,
because
that's early.
Yeah,
that's early. I'm not a morning person. I couldn't.
That's when our parks crew starts, and so we get them started off on the right foot. In the summer, I'm checking the outdoor pool on the chemicals and the mechanicals, and then I'm generally checking in with our rec staff and our management team. And I may have a meeting scheduled, or I may be assisting out in our park maintenance operations. So our days are pretty ever-changing. We respond to incidents like graffiti, vandalism, et cetera, that may happen in our parks. We may have a beer garden that night that we have to set up for, or a concert or some other event that we're getting ready for. And generally, I sprinkle in meetings that we're getting. So a lot of my job is I'm what I call a working director. So I'm not behind a desk all day long. I get out in the field and help with whatever needs to be helped with that day. And then I also take care of that. sometimes my kids are in swim lessons or need to get dropped off at a program. We get home at night, we get our family time in, and then generally after the kids go to bed, I respond to any emails that I get to the day. So our field is really it's a labor of love and passion for what we do, and there's a lot of nights and weekends that we're either working or we're having staff work that we're on call. So it's a really flexible, fluid throughout the day of where we're at.
For sure. So can you tell me about like what's your craziest work story? Was there ever an emergency you had to respond to that you were like, oh my gosh, how'd you deal with it? What went down?
Oh, sure. So one of, this is a good one. You'll enjoy this one. So there was a Friday night, this was years ago, maybe a decade ago even, that I was vacuuming the pool, which is just like vacuuming your house, but you're vacuuming up all the crud at the bottom of a pool. And it was 10:30 on a Friday night. And the lights were on. I had walked into our guard office to, I think, turn the music off, and all of a sudden I heard a kersplash. And there was a couple young individuals that had decided to jump the fence and go swimming. And I had seen a group of them running across the park, and I came out and in my, biggest dad voice was saying, "Get out of the pool."
Oh my gosh.
And they come scurrying out, and I'm in my flip-flops, which I'm wearing today. I'm running on the pool deck and calling our police because I was like, I am not happy that they broke into the pool, and they, we have no lifeguards, and it's dangerous, and I'm chasing them out the door. The cops one of our police officers are come right away, and in the field they're zigzagging through private property and end up getting caught by a dog.
Oh my gosh.
next to City Hall, and it was, they were heavily intoxicated, and it could have been, but it was funny. I'm running into my flip-flops, and I'm like, "You don't break into my pool," and so that was it was thankfully an ending that could have been a lot worse.
For sure.
But it was funny after the fact.
I'm sure. So what do you think the key to success is when it comes to communication with the public?
Yeah, I think being as honest as possible. Our community in Monona is amazing. They really value the services that we provide. We've been able to establish a good relationship over the years and prove that our staff and our department is working hard for them and putting on quality programs and events and working with different organizations. I think the public also doesn't like to be, led astray. And so, we try to have those honest conversations with them, do it respectfully in a way that isn't, condescending or mean-spirited, but I think, my style anyway is generally to be as honest as possible when we talk about issues that we may have, challenges that we may have, and opportunities that we have in the future.
Yeah. So as we wrap up today, is there anything else you want our listeners to know?
We just so appreciate everyone that participates in our park programs and comes to the outdoor pool and enjoys our ice rink and special events. And we ask you to follow us on social media at Monona Parks Rec. Sign up for our newsletters, and certainly just come out and enjoy the festivities that we have planned for you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, thank you for listening. Make sure to follow at Parks and Rec, Monona Parks and Rec?
Monona Parks
Monona
and Rec.
Parks and Rec on social media. And tune in next time. Thank you so much, everyone.